All right, guys, I saw some really fascinating stuff over the weekend, particularly this story here from TechSpot, talking about how Black Myth Wukong, a game which I am absolutely thoroughly enjoying. I'm in towards, I believe, the latter half of Chapter 2, and it just gets better and better. Apparently, it has released a PS5 surge in China, which has spiked Sony's stock, which I'm not a big fan of Sony, so I'm not necessarily thrilled to hear that. However, it is good news for gamers and people who want to actually have good games to play and try to incentivize the video game industry to produce things that are worthwhile. And of course, this article says the Monkey King would be proud. Black Myth Wukong has been out for a week and is breaking all kinds of records. It now holds the Steam record for most concurrent players on single-player games. It also has sold 10 million units within 3 days of release, making it the fastest-selling game ever, leading to a console buying surge in China that the country has never seen. I mean, just absolutely massive, and I think it is definitely ironic given the fact that Sony, being originally a Japanese company, has kind of abandoned the Japanese audience, chasing the American audience as far as the PlayStation goes, and yet here you have China running out of PlayStations because of how impressive Black Myth Wukong has been, both in gameplay and the reviews, where it's leading to these record numbers of sales for units, sales for the PlayStation itself. Absolutely mind-blowing when you contrast it with Concord. Concord, this horrifically bad 5v5 shooter that at best is mediocre and at worst looks god-awful. And now they're estimating that it has only sold 25,000 units, but I think that this is definitely not even the case. If we look at the data we have available, I think 25,000 is an overinflated number, and we'll get to why in just a second. So, of course, IGN has been trying to push this game as hard as they can. They have been resharing their review of it over and over and over on Twitter, at least once or twice a day for the last 3 days. And it is so cringe watching them try to shill for this game that is failing miserably due to the fact that there's this oversaturation in the market for, arena shooters and hero shooters. The fact that there is a $40 entry price on this game, I think, is a certain aspect of it. The people who might have been interested in this game probably stayed away from it due to the fact that it costs $40. And then, of course, the characters themselves being completely horrific to have to look at. There's no question that the cosmetics, the appearance of the characters definitely had a detrimental effect on the release of this title. So, of course, if you look at it right now, today, Sunday night, 94 people currently playing. Absolutely abysmal numbers. They never got above 697 for their all-time peak, and it never will again. And I found a very interesting video, I believe, Endymion shared it, about this pro character designer, how he did a breakdown fixing Concord's character designs. And I watched a bit of it. I will try to remember to link it down below. And he did a lot of talking about just how the tonal, coloring of these characters just created a whole bunch of bland nothingness where nobody could tell, like, all the colors are muted. There's no differentiating in the shades and the tonal quality. It is all just flat and lifeless. And how some of the characters, like this one here, is completely boring to look at. It looks like a random NPC. Who would actually go and choose this character as their player character when it looks like one of a million other NPCs you might find in any other sort of sci-fi game? So, again, I'll try to remember to link this video. He did a fantastic job explaining all the issues with the cosmetic and aesthetics of this game that has led us to where we are today. Meanwhile, if you are in the need for a gaming PC or just a nice PC for your office or home, check out Meta PCs. I do have a link down below, and that will get me a few bucks back if you decide to purchase a system. So I absolutely appreciate you guys working with me on this. If you've been looking at a Meta PC for a while, definitely use my link down below, and I will forever be grateful. And of course, I also have a discount code that is linked down below as well. And they have got all the best custom build, top of the line, ready to ship PCs. You can put together your dream PC or just get something that's a little bit more affordable. They, of course, have warranty, and they've got American-based tech support. So again, go check them out. These guys are fantastic. A bunch of awesome dudes just doing great work. So much appreciation to them for partnering with the channel. And I'm going to get back to Concord now. So now this article today from Dark Horizons, who I've never read anything from them, so shout out to Dark Horizons, says that PS5's Concord has a disastrous launch. Now, this, I think, is focusing more on the PlayStation aspect of the game, which we have not seen a whole lot about, given the fact that PlayStation kind of plays their numbers close to the chest, same as Xbox. We don't see the player numbers like we can on Steam. However, the article says Sony PlayStation had a gargantuan hit earlier this year with Helldivers 2, one of the few multiplayer-only games of recent times to really break through. I think it's worth noting that Helldivers 2 has seen a disastrous, drop-off in their player base due to the way that the community managers have treated the players, due to the fact that they keep nerfing everything. It's unfortunate that this game has had such a disastrous mishap when it comes to how they have handled their player interactions online, but it is what it is. Helldivers 2, it'll either survive somehow, or it'll just be another game that was fun for, a year, and then it's just going to drop off the edge of a cliff. So the article says, history did not repeat with Concord, a PvP multiplayer-only live service sci-fi FPS from British developer Firewalk Games that has reportedly been in the works for 8 years. And this is the thing, when you go back to this guy talking about these character models, I cannot believe that it took somebody 8 years to come up with this dreadful looking, like, these character designs are just hideous. Forget about the fact that it's an obese, ethnically diverse person with gigantic orange gloves and big orange boots. I mean, the character on its own just looks terrible. There's nothing interesting about it. Kind of like K-Vest from Star Wars Outlaws. Even if the game's good, the character looks boring. Why would I even want to get into that? So this article says in its first week, Concord's peak player count on Steam was a mere 697, a number that's also dropping fast. To put that in comparison, even high-profile bombs like Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Redfall, and Skull and Bones achieved peaks of 13,000, 6,000, and 2,600 respectively. Skull and Bones, when they released on Steam, actually has more players, I believe, currently playing than this horrific game Concord. Now, a new report at IGN, citing analyst Simon Carlos, claims the game has only sold around 10,000 copies on Steam and 15,000 on PlayStation. And here's why I think that this is a load of bull. If you go back to the Steam numbers, remember, a lot of people, myself included, will buy a game on Steam and never play it. Okay, so I have a bunch of games in my library that I bought really cheap, they looked really interesting, and I haven't gotten around to actually even installing them, let alone playing them. This happens a lot with games that are on sale, games that are on clearance. Very few people, I would imagine, spend full price on a game that just released and won't even touch it. So 10,000 on Steam when their peak player base was 697, unless most of those people got refunds, I'm going to say that that's got to be bull. Furthermore, if you look at PlayStation, if you look at the numbers that they're saying, 15,000 people, this is a game that is not available to play for free through PlayStation Plus. I believe you have to own a copy of it. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then, of course, you can look at the trophy achievements and how to unlock them from Game Rant here. And there's the whole list of achievements down here, all sorts of things, obtain all of the trophies, eliminate 50 enemies as this character and that, whatever. Now, the most interesting one here is the second one on the list, get your first elimination, your first takedown. If you go to the PSN profiles page and you look at the number of people who have gotten this trophy, it says that there is 1,238 achievers, which puts it at 97%. Well, the estimates that they have on here say that would mean that there's only 1,278 game owners. So if there's 1,278 game owners, where is this 15,000 PlayStation, copies sold number coming from? To me, this sounds like complete garbage. Like, this just sounds like IGN trying to inflate the numbers for Sony for reasons. I don't even know what their angle would be unless they're, getting paid off by Sony. And again, I'm not saying they are, but I can't imagine why IGN would be saying that they sold 15,000 units on PlayStation when all evidence points to the contrary. I mean, is there another way we can verify this, guys? Because to me, the common sense answer is if 97% of people have gotten this achievement that has been obtained by 1,238 players, that the estimate seems right. And then, of course, V points out that there's a game called Squirrel with a Gun that is getting more players currently playing it than Concord, and I'm not even surprised. Squirrel with a Gun looks freaking hilarious. Romantic Egoist says, heck of a month for modern audiences. The Acolyte canceled after 1 season. Borderlands, one of the biggest bombs in movie history. Concord's peak player count was 697. Dustborn's peak player count 83. This audience does not exist. And this is the thing a lot of the wokies are really mad about. They're really pissed off when you talk about the modern audience. I know I saw Khalif Adams on here talking about how, well, the modern audience is younger Gen Z, and they're the ones that are more diverse, and they're more accepting. Okay, but are they willing to spend their money? Or at least their mommy and daddy's money? Because clearly, They're not, because nobody's playing this crap, nobody's watching this crap. The Acolyte Season 2 got canceled, Borderlands made no money, Concord and Dustborn are dead on arrival, so you tell me where this modern audience is. I'm very curious, but I'm gonna leave it right there, guys. Don't forget, live stream on Monday night. We will be live at 9:30 talking about all the most recent, current, updated news. Go check out Meta PCs if you are in the need for a PC, and I will catch you guys later. Alright, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.